And then tell us about the experience of how quickly he did the loan and went through that whole process, and how quickly the funds were transferred. It was
No, correct. A top tier bank, it might take a little while, and it's a great rate, and that's what you go for. But as we all know in the real world, sometimes you don't get the best banking product, the percentage on the marketing tool on the internet. You don't get that often. So that's the piece where you need support, because all of a sudden you're lost. So we went through all the other lenders, every other option. Again, trust, comfort, discussion, knowledge in the industry, knowledge in the space, knowledge that we can put you into something for a period, look at the market, and whenever it's ready to do something else, we'll move you on to another product, much like in the banking space, much like in what we currently know. The fact that it's digital is just the next step. Once it was secured and we'd engaged and we were comfortable with that amount, there was no checks in the mail. There was no transfer.
We're actually on the phone with him, and he said, "Oh, the funds have already transferred."
Absolutely.
It was that quick. It was like took 5 minutes.
The Australian banks have got hundreds of billions of dollars sat in these overnight transfers, all earning 1% day rate or whatever the percentage might be. This was so quick. It's about the client. It's about the lender giving money to the client rapidly, and I love that. And I think this blockchain movement of wealth, of money, of assets is fascinating.
Yeah,
is fascinating.
So this client we took from, who's a landscaper who wanted to develop a property. He was basically short, but you asked the fundamental questions: do you have any other assets? You unfolded the fact is that he was sitting on some crypto. He sort of knew about the lending stuff. He was what I would call educated, sophisticated, but was uncomfortable about the security. We gave him the introductions and we really held his hand. And now he's been able to basically fulfill his, landscaping project business because we're able to, release some of those assets. Now, I, for an example, release assets like this where if I buy a car, which we're talking about, will be done with a crypto loan instead of a traditional loan, because then I actually have my asset on one side being the crypto and the other asset being the car. And so I've now got two fundamental assets, one which is probably going to depreciate, but I get to drive around in. The other one's going to most likely grow, but I don't get to utilize it in any other form. So it's really taking that crypto and diversifying it. So it doesn't have to be just real estate. It can be, my first loan was school fees. I love it, because basically what I do is I allow the school fees to be paid by my crypto loans. And as soon as it gets to over, 100% growth, I close it down. Now, yes, I don't keep as much of my asset in the crypto, but I also didn't pay for my school fees.